The Poinciana Woman is a vengeful ghost whose name and stories are whispered throughout the top end of Australia, from Darwin to the Torres Strait. There are varying accounts of how this legend came about. One story is that she is a ghost of a young woman who was raped by Japanese fishermen in Darwin. When she found out she was pregnant from this horrible event, she hung herself in the branches of the Poinciana tree. Poinciana, filled with rage and anguish over her death and the events leading up to it, now searches for young men to exact her revenge on. She entices them initially by appearing as a beautiful woman with long silky black hair that falls below her waist and wears a white dress that moves with the breeze. She seduces and jokes with the young men, drawing them closer, and then she transforms into a wild-haired hag with black eyes and long nails. When she is denied, or when the man gets away, Poinciana becomes full of rage. A story my uncle told me was that when he went duck hunting in the swamps behind his village, he moved from pond to pond. The ducks were thick and rested on the water in great numbers, but every time he would aim his shotgun and fire into the middle of the flock, he would not hit a single duck. They would rise then and move further towards the centre of the island, away from the village. This happened another 3 times. When following them for the last time, he heard whistling from the mangroves. He stopped dead in his tracks and looked to see a beautiful woman. She was playing with her long dark hair and had on a clean white dress that fluttered around her. She motioned for him to come closer. My uncle, knowing the stories of Poinciana, recognized her immediately. A feeling of dread came over him when he realized it was her that was leading him further and further away from the safety of the village. And with the sun almost setting, he turned and fled back towards his home. He told his family what had happened, and they huddled together in fear. However, soon afterwards, my other uncle needed to go and check his boat to make sure that it was not high and dry in the mudflats. He took his torch and headed towards the shoreline. After adjusting the boat's anchor, he turned back when he heard a snarling and growling behind him. He shone his torch onto the mudflats where he saw the Poinciana crawling on her stomach towards him in the mud. Her mouth and face was twisted. She continued to growl and move closer to him. He took flight and ran back to the village. If she couldn't get the first brother, perhaps she thought she could get the second.